Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Virgo. If Virgo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. And our card tonight is the Two of Discs, which has everything to do with change. All right. Let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell button. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment or hit that little like button, I'd really appreciate it. It helps the channel so much. And if you are a new listener, if you have never watched one of these readings before, I would love to hear from you. Let me know. Tell me, hey, this is my first time. I'm just always so interested to see how many people are checking out these readings for the very, very first time. Okay, so I want to start right here. We have 1, 2, 3 people, okay? We have the a lunar symbol up here, the crescent moon. Now, up here, it looks like we have a bird. You can see kind of the tail. The head is right here, kind of leaned over. It looks like maybe eating something. And so I see 3 people. I see the bird, and I absolutely believe that this is a message coming through from the universe, right? This is something divinely purposed. And it is not only going to be witnessed by yourself, but I think at least 2 other people. Okay, so this isn't something where it's like, oh, I'm seeing synchronicities and everything feels so meaningful. I'm having dreams that are, like revelations, a visitation from a loved one, and only you are having these experiences. So it's kind of like left up to your interpretation, right? No, this is something where it will profoundly affect, and I imagine this is maybe family, okay? Will affect the family. There will be other witnesses, right? So maybe this is that somebody who has transitioned or passed away, they're coming back through. They're, visiting each one of you. That could be. This could be one experience that happens in the same, where you're together, everybody's, at a dinner party or something, and some big occurrence, or it doesn't have to be big, but something happens that is profound, right? For some reason, I'm thinking it's almost like your mom's favorite song comes on, right? And everybody thinks, oh, this is mom's favorite song. And then all of a sudden, there's like something flies across the room. Maybe, I don't know. But something happens where it's like a series of confirmations, okay? So this is a profound moment. Now, these things can happen, and then, we think, oh my gosh, that was wild. Can you believe that? But we think, okay, so it must have been a coincidence. Even though we all saw it, we all experienced it, we all had the same, feeling, right? It got your spidey senses kind of tingling. It's easy to kind of, think, oh, well, I'm just attributing meaning to the situation. And maybe that is the case. I don't know. It could be. But I'm also a Virgo, and I'm also very superstitious. So I believe these signs full-heartedly. And I think that you do too. That's why we have you with the moon over your head, because you are somebody that sees beyond the veil, right? Now, these other two, I don't know. Don't let them talk you out of believing what you believe, though. Don't let them rationalize too much. I do. I feel that you are somebody who has eyes to see. You absolutely are a psychic being, very intuitive, and probably clairvoyant. You might be a medium or somebody who can channel, something like this. I know that you get messages, though, because there are other birds in here, and one right there as well. And it is closest to this figure that I imagine you being united with that lunar energy. So you're the one that is like, oh, well, this is kind of, yeah, this happens, you know. I've had other experiences. But yeah, this feels important. I don't know. I'm going to keep looking to see if I can see what it's about. But it does feel like something that I almost feel like you all have been wanting for it. It's like, please show me a sign. Give me a sign. Let me know that you're here. Let us know. You know, let somebody know. But now all three of you will be shown. Okay? Now, I want to look at this. We have a large rabbit. Okay, you can see the eyes, the nose, the ears up here. It's the head. Here's the body. Okay, so we have this rabbit, and this is a sign of fertility. Okay, it might be that you are looking to have a child. Maybe this is hoping for a grandchild, but more than likely has nothing to do with children at all. Now, there are some people that do come to the readings and they're hoping or they're thinking about or, you know, whatever. But more often than not, our signs of fertility, our phallic symbols, our yonic symbols, our fish or the rabbits, signs of abundance and fertility have to do with creativity or creating resources in your life. Now we're dealing with the discs, right? The coins. So this might have to do with creating some streams of revenue for yourself, making a change in your life so that you are able to make more money. Okay. Now I'm not somebody that loves to talk about money. Actually, I grew up really in that era where it was still the era anyways, where you don't talk about money. It's rude. Well, I've always been pretty poor in my adult life, so there's not much to talk about anyways, right? But yeah, usually I'm like, okay, let's steer clear of these conversations. But I know it's something we're all concerned about. It's something that we all think about. We all have bills to pay. We all have, mouths to feed and also to feed ourselves, to house ourselves, to have a place to be, right? So these are all considerations that, are unavoidable. But I look at this and it is a large rabbit. So I do believe this is a time where you're realigning yourself with maybe a new job, a second job, starting a business, working on some projects that you can maybe sell for income, something like this. Okay. Now, I do believe that this has to do with your abilities within the spiritual divine world, right? And I believe that because we have the Two of Discs, which, as you can see, is not only Ouroboros, which is the snake eating its tail, but it is also the infinity sign. It is also as above, so below. So within, so without. Everything above, which we consider, right, the higher thinking, the spiritual, the divine, and the below, which is the physical world, the Malkuthian world, right? Our daily lives, our shared reality. So when these things, when we come into this place of balance and understanding that all that is above can come down to the below, right? Divinity in all things. So the things below can flow upwards to the divine. Okay, so there is a perfect balance there. Always, if we perceive that or not. Okay, but I do believe that through your spiritual abilities, your spiritual work, your relationship with the divine, with your psychic abilities, maybe you are somebody who is a diviner, a magical practitioner. Maybe you are a person who has devoted yourself to a religious lifestyle. Whatever it is, however you kind of manifest this energy, it will be aligned with the work that you are doing. And in this alignment, you will have more resources for yourself. So maybe it is that you are starting like a YouTube channel, for instance, and you're going to be, doing, I don't know, mediumship or tarot readings or maybe tea leaf readings or whatever it is. That could be. Maybe you are somebody that is a healer, okay? And maybe you're going to go into business or take on some clients. You do Reiki or, faith healing or something like this. That could be. Maybe you are implementing your spiritual practices into the career that you already have, okay? That could be. Whatever it is, whatever that looks like for you, I can see the money coming. I can see the resources coming. There is an abundance. This will not be a long, thin winter, right? And I mean thin, like the pockets, right? Your pockets are empty. No, I feel like, and maybe you are in winter. I realize in the southern hemisphere, you guys are in winter already. Maybe it won't be such a harsh summer. Okay, so in these next months coming up, as we are building up these reserves, building up this business, this work, this implementing of spiritual aspects to your work life, it'll come, and it'll come more, and it'll come more. That is, the resources, the money. So I feel like you will be doing pretty well by the end of the year. Okay. Now, I have said over and over again, this is our year, you guys. We're going to continue to flourish. And maybe that feels like it's been slow to start, but I really feel in my heart of hearts, this is going to be it. Going into the next year, 2025, things are going to be looking up. Okay. Now, will it be, bazillions of dollars? I don't know. I don't think so. Who is making that kind of money? I don't know. Not me. It's not me. But, I think enough, right, to pay the bills. Maybe pay down some debt. Put some money away. To me, in my mind, again, as somebody who has, I've shared before, I worked as a waitress for most of my adult life, right? And not a fancy waitress, not like a fancy wait staff at like a, 5-star or 4-star or whatever. I forget what the Michelins are, but I'm not like super trained. I worked at diners and, bars and things like that, or, grills and that kind of thing. Not making a ton of money. So to me, to cover the bills, to have some debt paid down, right? And to be able to squirrel away some funds, maybe even invest a little something, that's a huge win. I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way. So I do. I feel like this is a time of great empowerment for you. Okay, now we are earthen people, Virgo. And as much as we don't like to be materialists, and I think that's a common thread between a lot of us Virgos, both the August Virgos and the September Virgos, we don't like to be considered very materialistic people. But we're earthen people, yeah, we do. We do well in the physical world if we can figure out where our groove is. We are. We are manifestors. We are, magicians of our own lives. We are, very in line with the mother goddess, right? The earth mother, Gaia, and her many other names. So we're, even if it goes against like our personality or persona, I'm not somebody who cares to have a lot of stuff or make a ton of money. We're good at figuring out how to survive and how to build a good foundation and the home, the life that we want for ourselves. We just got to stop getting in our own way. That's the thing, right? Find where our strengths are. And a lot of that seems to be in the spiritual realm. Bringing that down into the physical world. Using our abilities to manifest the life that we want. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. All right, let's see. Now we have the dancing dog here, okay? We also have this kind of, it almost looks like the face of an alligator. You can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth, right? No teeth, thankfully, but the alligator nonetheless. So we do kind of have, we have again, that lunar energy. So we do have kind of this, like the ghoulies, right? The ghoulies dancing about, the mischief, the night side, right? Those creatures that live on the borderlands, the things that we fear to come in contact with, the shapeshifters, the jinn, the the fae to some degree, depending on what your relationship with them might be. And so on and so on. There are a lot of different, now I live on the prairie, I know a lot of you think that we live in Chicago because apparently my husband always says that our time is Chicago time, right? That's just something they say on the news or they've, I don't know. If you're older, you remember that Central Time is usually likened to Chicago because we all know where Chicago is, or at least most of us do. Well, we don't live in Chicago. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. I think my husband's okay with people thinking that. But I'm just going to say we don't live over there. We don't live too far off, though. But I do live on the prairie, right? And the prairie is full of spirits. Well, everywhere is. But the prairie is interesting because it's so open. Now, I'm not on exactly the plains, exactly. Some of the land is like that, but there are also groves of trees and things. A lot of water, and but there are so many transient spirits, elemental spirits, spirits left over from, I can't say, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the words, but how should I say? And I can't, it's not that YouTube's they don't tell us we can't say words. I've had people on here ask, YouTube won't let you say it. No, it's the advertising, I think. It messes up the algorithm if you say certain things. So the things, the mass unaliving that happened in North America, South America, Central America, you know what I'm talking about. So We have a lot of transient spirits, okay? And sometimes, you know, they can be a little tricky. Sometimes they can mess with us, with our perceptions, especially when we have that strong lunar energy, especially when we are in a place that is open and emotional and flowing. The perception it's open. And so these things are showing themselves to you. And so you are feeling it in your life. And especially with the dancing dog, okay? This one is not unlike the coyote or the jackal. Now the jackal is a psychopomp, so this is kind of tied to death. But in this case, I don't see that, okay? I don't think this is death, but I do think it is kind of this weird, surreal place that you can find yourself in sometimes. Now, this might be why we're having these moments where you and your family members or friends or whoever it is that you're around are perceiving these messages coming through. There are physical events happening that are confirmation. But I also think in other aspects of your life, probably your dreams, vision work, path working, active imagination, whatever it is, you are having interactions with other spirits as well. Okay, and they feel quite potent. Now, we also have a moth person right here, and you can see their little, I always call them their whiskers. They're not, they're their antennae. And they look like they're kind of dancing around together. So it is kind of the strange madness of these deep parts of our seasons. Okay, so we have summer. You can think of like Midnight Summer Dream, right? Kind of this, if you've ever read the book or seen the movies or whatever, it's kind of bizarre, right? In the garden with the fairies and the, you know, strange beings and kind of almost a bacchanalian, but it's also, you know, these big overtures of love and lust and loss and anger and revenge and, you know, all these kinds of feelings swirling around. And so I feel like you are going on this kind of strange and bizarre trip, right? Maybe you are in backcountry, as Hunter S. Thompson might say. We have now entered backcountry. So I feel like it's just a strange time, but it is a good time to be collecting that inspiration. These creative qualities in these strange places, strange landscapes, really good for creativity. Now, to counteract some of this, because we can get lost in this. This is where when we have a person who is has vision and can be a visionary, right? We also have that thin line between mystic and madman, right? So to counteract some of this so that you aren't getting lost in it all, stay in your routines as much as you can. Make sure that you are adhering to your self-care, taking care of the home, keeping it orderly as possible, whatever it is for your normal baseline, doing that, right? Keeping the house uncluttered, the energies moving through, fresh air, you know, and it's not because I'm a mom and I'm a stickler for a clean house, which I am, but it's not because I'm all wound up tight. It's because I truly believe that if the home, especially the sacred areas of the home, the bedroom, the bedroom, right? Or also places that you spend a lot of time, like, you know, maybe your living room, if you sit on the couch and hang out with your family. These places should remain as uncluttered as possible for not only your mental health, but for the energies that do come in with you. We bring in energy all the time, right? Different things that we do during the day, places that we go. So if your house is cluttered, if it is the floors have things on it, if all of the surfaces are piled high with things, not only does that make you feel overwhelmed, I mean, it does me, the energies that you're bringing in get trapped in there, okay? It becomes a place that is stagnant and potent and can become oppressive, okay? So keeping the places clean as much as you can, okay? I'm not saying, I'm like a 7 out of 10 maybe for my house, like as far as how well I keep things cleaned up. I am always cleaning, but you know, not perfect. So don't think that I'm trying to tell you I am, because I'm not. But I do, you know, I do think that this is an important part of it. Making sure that you're staying in a good sleep routine. Okay, making sure that you're getting those restful hours of sleep, not just passing out, not just, you know, on and off sleep. You're getting into that sleep deprivation, not oversleeping either. That's another thing. We can oversleep. Years ago, especially when I was on different medications for my mental health, certain ones would make me sleep. I mean, they just do, right? And I would sleep for like 18 hours a day sometimes. And in those times, I was having a lot more like spiritual activity that I did not want. Okay. Things, I was having a lot of terrible dreams, nightmares, and sleep terrors, and you know, it was hard. It was like the dark night of the soul, right? We all kind of have those moments where it can get kind of difficult, kind of bad. So the oversleeping can also be problematic for our spiritual lives. Okay, so trying to you know, be moderate in what we're doing. Now, we all have our different what is normal for us. So I'm not going to apply hours of how many hours you should be sleeping or what your house should look like. It's all up to you, right? This is all about where you are comfortable, what your, you know, what your normal looks like, okay? And nobody can tell you either way, right? What is right or what is wrong. So that also making sure that you're doing some physical movement, intentional movement to your level of ability, right? Eating well, whatever that looks like for you, and trying to get outside whenever you can, okay? I know I'm not that person, or maybe I am a little bit, that fresh air will save your life. Well, you know, it maybe won't be the fix-all. It's maybe not the key to the promised land, but it is something that, you know, is important for each of us, okay? Getting outside, getting a little sun, not too much, wear your sunblock, and you know, just being among life, right? Nature, wilderness, animals, water, whatever it is. All of these things will help keep you grounded as you are going through these intense spiritual contact moments, right? When there's a lot of activity. Okay, now we have a snail. So it is. Take it slow. Be kind to yourself. Go slow. Baby steps, okay? Not everything needs to be done in one day. We just have to take our time where we can. Now we have more fish up here. So I absolutely believe this money deal is coming through, right? Doing this work, this thing that you want to do, absolutely. We also have the number 4. The number 4 is important this next period of time. And we have, it looks like a bird sitting on a nest, laying an egg. So it is. I feel like there is this sense of building up that nest egg, right? Kind of on the nose, I know, Lenore, but it is. I feel like this is the thing. It's not just about, you know, making enough money. It's about making a little bit of money to put aside, even if that is $5 a week. Okay. And I know some people are like, that's nothing, but yeah, when you are scraping by, that can be a lot. Okay. It can. And listen, I also believe that if we can put a little bit away, it feeds into your confidence. It really gives you a feeling of, I'm doing at least something, right? And maybe a little bit more, trying to figure out how else I can be doing more of this. Okay, getting creative with it. Absolutely. If I would have laughed somebody out of the room if they told me 5 or 10 years ago, Lenore, you're going to be on YouTube. Lenore, you're going to be, reading tea leaves as your profession. Now, I've always been inclined towards divination, right? And my connection with spirit, but I never thought, never in a million years. But both my husband, shout out to my husband, Dove and Serpent Tarot, my husband Paul over there, amazing tarot reader. But yeah, shout out to him because it was his idea to even start channels, doing things that we already were doing. And sometimes you just have to get creative. You just have to take a chance. And nobody is better at doing that than a Virgo. We eke it out. We grind it out. We figure it out, don't we? Yeah, nobody's going to hold us down. Only ourselves. If we're the only ones. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to flip on through here and I'm going to stop where it feels right. Okay, look at that. That's why I'm so scared. Now, let me just say, I know I've been talking a lot about my own things today, and I appreciate you being patient. I woke up this morning. It's been raining for days. It started flooding in the basement, this is where our studios are. Our studios had water in them. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is what it felt like it looked like. Now, it wasn't a lot of water. Thankfully, we've been blessed in that way. But it's still, we're under a flood watch for like the next 2 days. So please pray. By the time this comes out, hopefully the rains will be over. But my goodness, what an ordeal it's been trying to figure it all out. We just moved in here a couple months ago and absolutely didn't think it was going to flood because of, well, anyways, I won't go into why. But yeah, it did. And we're having the most rain here than this area has had in like 40 or 50 years. All of the lakes are so high. Both towns that are closest to us flooding, almost in a state of emergency, I think, at least one of them. And yeah, so that's what we're doing. Actually, after I'm done, I'm going to go check the perimeter of the basement again. I have to go outside. I'm going to be on watch all night, making sure, because we're supposed to have more torrential rain. And here we go. Let's turn it over. It says walkabout. Yeah, there we go. Walkabout. You discover your path in sacred walkabout. The trees are your people. The earth is your tribe. And in indigenous lessons, you find the will to survive. You find the will to survive. That's what it's about, Virgo. That's what we are. We are low to the earth, aren't we? I always make fun of myself a little bit. I'm about 5 foot tall. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a real Virgo. I'm just like right off the ground. So close. But yes, it's true. We do. We find a way. We absolutely do. And if we can just remember how connected we are to everything. Yeah. As above, so below, so within, so without. So, Virgo, I love you, and I thank you for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little button, the little bell thing. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, yeah, take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. I love you. I love you. I love you. Good night.